The man within. The House Forton Knight has a message for you. Ah, Mistress Shark. It is well that you are here. You are wanted within. I believe Master Alphino wishes a word with you. Oh. How quickly I forget. The Scions will find a way. I just know we will. Ah, Lavenza, there you are. Have you a moment? There is something I would fain discuss. I must ask you to recall the events which unfolded at the peace conference, though I dare say you would sooner forget them. My mind returns again and again to the moment when Nidhogg appeared before the crowd in the guise of Estinian. It was a sight to chill the soul, but one which gave me reason to hope that our friend might not be beyond salvation. When you described his fateful transformation as Isla, I feared him lost forever, but the mere fact that some semblance of his former self endures must surely count for something. Alas, I have no evidence to support this impression. Thus did I turn to Y'shtola and Kryl for a more empirical appraisal, and full glad am I that I did, for it would seem they have some observations of their own to share. The ladies have saved us a table at the Forgotten Knight. Shall we go? Excellent. Let us not keep our honored colleagues waiting. Yeah, the Nidhogg fight is pretty damn epic. I look forward to doing it. I want to say I've soloed it before, but I could be wrong. If I have, it would have been the extreme version for Wondrous Tales, which means the story version should be easy. I mean, I haven't had any trouble with anything yet. It just, now it's more of a time issue. You know, is it going to take more time to do it solo over just jumping into a group? The name does this establishment a disservice. Remarkably few of its patrons seem inclined to drink their way to oblivion. I do begin to see why Tataru chose to work here.
We have kept you waiting over long, I fear.
Not to worry, Alphino. We had some rather fine mulled wine to keep us company. Truth be told, you could have delayed your arrival a few moments more.
Gibrion got the spicing just right this time. His latest batch is not only delicious and warming, but soothing to the humors.
Indeed. But 'twas not to soothe our humours that we gathered here.
Ah, no, quite right. The matter of that poor dragoon.
You have discovered something. A means to save him?
Sorry, 1 second. Ugh, sorry, I was hoping to avoid that, but my dog was just doing something she shouldn't have been doing and had to nip that in the bud quickly. Okay, let us continue.
Let us not jump to conclusions, shall we? Assess the facts presented, then make an educated analysis, as you were taught.
Pray, cast your mind back to the moment of Estinian's transformation. Do you recall how you described it to us? You spoke of the sudden pangs which racked his body when you took up both of Nidhogg's eyes, and of how his form was twisted thereafter into a shadowy semblance of the Great Worm.
When he appeared at Falcon's Nest, the worm's eyes were fused to his mail.
Would that only his armor had been corrupted. Snaking forth from the eyes, I descried dark tendrils which entangled his very being. His ether has been all but smothered.
Then he is lost to us forever?
What did I just say about jumping to conclusions? Y'shtola clearly stated all but smothered. As I later discovered, her impression matched my own. Though Nidhogg's presence filled my mind's eye, beneath his seething aura, I sensed the merest hint of something else. And after listening to Y'shtola's observations, I became more certain of my suspicion, that the something else I had sensed was, in fact, the trace of a different will, submerged in the sea of Nidhogg's rage.
You mean...
Yes, 'tis like that Estinian spirit yet lingers.
Can we not wrest him from Nidhogg's grasp, then? Tear the eyes from the armor?
We know not if that would serve to separate Worm's soul from man's. None have ever attempted such a feat.
Should it offer even the faintest hope of success, then by the gods, I shall be the first to try.
Alphino. By all means, hold fast to your hope, but be mindful of the dangers. Even should you succeed in excising the eyes from the Dragoon's mail, we have no way of knowing if your friend's soul would survive so violent a separation. And that is to say nothing of the possibility that his would-be savior might become Nidhogg's next host.
But what other choice remains to us? Should the opportunity present itself, I will tear those foul orbs from Estinian's armor and trust in the resilience of his soul, even at the risk of mine own.
Ah! I found you at last! A messenger of the Temple Knights came to the manor some few hours past. The Lord Commander humbly requests the company of the Warrior of Light and Master Alphino.
Sir Emmerich would speak with us. Very well, thank you, Anawa.
'Twould seem duty calls. Pray see to yours, and we shall return to ours.
Thank you, Y'shtola, Kryl. Your words have given me hope where there was none. Come then. Sir Emmerich awaits.
Alphino is allowing his feelings for this Dragoon to cloud his thoughts. I worry he may do something rash. Keep an eye on him, would you?
They think more of their friends' deliverance than their foes' defeat. But will history commend their fealty or condemn their folly?
The
More
conference
cutscenes.
held at Falcon's Nest was to be a celebration of the reconciliation twixt man and dragon. But the lingering shade of Nidhogg, clad in the flesh of the Azure Dragoon, did mark the occasion by spilling the blood of his own kind. A timely atrocity to remind the children of Ishgard that the Dragonsong War was far from over.
Not that far.
And when fear gave way to fury, the call to arms rang out anew. Death to Nidhogg. Death to Nidhogg.
It's interesting, now that I've gone back through, you know, most of Heavensward, like, I remember Alphino having, you know, great feelings or admiration or whatever for Estinian, and it gets referenced a bit in Shadowbringers. But now that I've gone through this again, there was really nothing about their interactions so far that really backs up his feelings or whatever. Beyond, I would say, simply he just doesn't want to lose like another friend or companion or whatever. You know, because there was never really a time that, like, he and Estinian, like, really got along well or whatever that I can think of. I mean, we just did it. I mean, my memory's not the greatest, but it's not that bad. It's just interesting. Like, I would have thought there would have been more to kind of back up that relationship. But I mean, it also does seem to be primarily one-sided, you know, at least right now. Let me just double check. Yeah, everything's all right. Okay. Yeah, my dog picks the worst, like right in the middle of a cutscene. And a voiced cutscene at that. You know, I like to just let those run through, but she had to get into some trouble right in the middle of it. Okay. What news has Sir Emmerich to share with us, I wonder? An ally for Ishgard. Alphino is eager to hear what tidings Sir Emmerich has to share. Might Sir Emmerich perchance have received word of a Dravinian advance? Or mayhap they have located a that is to say, mayhap Nidhogg has been found. Come, I would hear what the Lord Commander has to say.
My friends, I thank you for coming.
You have had news of Nidhogg?
Alas not. Our scouts range far and wide, but they have as yet found no trace of the Great Worm.
We dispatched an elite unit of dragoons to reconnoiter the churning mists, but even they returned empty-handed.
A pity.
Fear not, Alphino. We shall see the worm again soon enough. His words at Falcon's Nest attest to that. Indeed, he is like to come sooner than we would wish.
I assume Ishgard's defenses are being bolstered as we speak?
With all haste. I mean to call upon every able-bodied warrior at our disposal, from the Knights of the Four Houses to the men and women of the Watch. But I did not summon you to discuss strategy.
What then would you have of us, my lord?
I will speak plain. Now that Nidhogg is possessed of both of his eyes, no mortal force we can muster will repel him. That being the case, we must needs recruit an ally of equal strength.
Hraesvelgr.
You speak of Hraesvelgr?
I do. To whom else could we turn?
That he is Nidhogg's equal I do not deny, nor can I name another. But convincing the reclusive creature to do battle with his own brood brother will be... how shall I put this?
It will be no small undertaking, yes. Estinian's report was most particular about Hraesvelgr's unwillingness to involve himself in the affairs of men. But much has changed since your visit to Somal, and if there is even a chance that the dragon may be swayed, I must plead our case. Whatever price the dragon asks of me, I shall pay it. Such was my oath, to defend the people of Ishgard. Come what may, my friends, the battle with Nidhogg will mark the end of my tenure as the acting head of church and state. Will you help me discharge this final duty?
Nod.
We will, my lord, though I fear our involvement offers no guarantee of success. Come then, we will depart at your leisure.
Thank you. Both of you. The city is yours, First Commander.
My lord, we shall pray for your swift return.
So I've been kind of racking my brain thinking about what other dungeons or trials or what have you are left in Heavensward that are part of the MSQ. And I know I could probably just, bring up the Duty Finder and, sift through it, but it's kind of more fun to either figure it out on my own or just come upon it in the MSQ. And now after this cutscene I realize, oh yeah, that we're I'm blanking on the name of the dungeon, but it's the one where Hraesvelgr tests you. So that's what we're gonna end up doing. I somehow doubt that Hraesvelgr will be pleased to see us, but for Estinian's sake and that of countless others, I suppose we must risk his displeasure. It grieves me to impose upon you in this manner, but you of all people understand the threat we now face. It is no imposition, Sir Emmerich. To Lavenza and I, Ishgard is as a second home. After the many battles we have fought and the bonds we have forged, the plight of your nation has become our own. If there is aught that we can do to aid in its salvation, then pray impose all you must. You are true friends. Shall we be about our task then? We have no way of knowing when Nidhogg's shade will strike, but we must assume that time is not our ally. Indeed, with that in mind, I have taken the liberty of dispatching a messenger to inform Mistress Tataru that you will be escorting me to Somal. I confess I did not provide the exact details of our destination, as they are as yet unknown to me. We will summon Hraesvelgr at zenith in the churning mists. Ere we begin our ascent, however, I think it best that we pay a visit to Annex Shrine. You seek an advantage in the coming negotiations? I do. I would consult with Vidofnir. I propose this in part out of concern for her condition. Were she to succumb to her wounds, it would have grave consequences for our alliance. That apart, she may be able to provide insight into her sire's current state of mind. Well reasoned. To the Dravinian Forelands, then. I might actually imagine Hraesvelgr might be more willing to go up against Nidhogg after attacking Vidofnir. You know, because I think maybe Hraesvelgr was kind of like, you know, as long as it's dragon versus man, like, whatever, doesn't care. But as soon as it turned into dragon versus dragon, you know, he might be like, okay, I might be willing to help now. Ah, 'tis the warrior of warriors and her companions. That's interesting. I think it... Maybe, like, Amaric has said it before, but I think I've noted the dragons tend to refer to our character as warrior of warriors instead of warrior of light. What bringeth you to mine abode? Pray forgive us for disturbing your recuperation, Vidofnir. I hope your wound does not pain you overmuch. Yeah, that was like a deep wound in the back. Actually, you know, just given the cutscene, I was surprised, you know, initially that Vidofnir survived it. Didst thou imagine me close to death? The thrust was deep, but not mortal. I will heal in time. Full glad am I to hear it. You are the guest of honor at our conference, and we failed in our duty of protection. On behalf of Ishgard, I apologize unreservedly. I am a dragon full grown, and thou thought to protect me, mortal? I was tempered by the fires of battle ere thy great-grandsire learned to crawl. Thy words do remind me of a knight whom I called friend some 1,000 years past. He swore to defend me from harm and hardship. Would that we could return to that era of peace, when man and dragon knew such comradeship. Just some of the words they choose to, like, you couldn't have used camaraderie. It had to be comradeship. Would that our every effort to do so were not undone by ancient rancor. For a truth, there can be no peace while Nidhogg's shade yet lingereth. That much is plain, yet we lack the strength to banish him. Thus do we make for Psalm all, to beseech the aid of your sire once more. Folly, thou knowest as well as I how he will answer. Hraesvelgr's heart remains unchanged then, a pity. But if it is folly to hope, I am content to die a fool. As hath ever been the way with thy kind, go then, but be warned. The shade's presence hath driven its minions to frenzy. Thank you, Vidofnir. We shall disturb your rest no longer. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight's stream was a lot of fun. We finally killed Nidhogg. finally, for the last time, which I think finishes off 3.3, and we moved into 3.4 with the stream ending after taking on Titan again and meeting poor Gabu. It was fun, but sad there at the end, but fun. If you enjoyed this and want to see it live, come and join me on my Twitch. The link is down below. And again, if you enjoyed this one, please like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, have a good one.